Clap, clap it up for Emily, our fourth and final color. A lot of tall people. Okay, well, there we go. Thank you, sir. Kind sir, I appreciate it. Just short little cupcake. Okay. My mother, Dr. Betsy Yarrison, was born in 1947, and up until 2017, she had never been out of the country, which is bananas because she's well educated. She encouraged us to go travel internationally whenever we had the opportunity, and she even funded some of that. And she has a master's degree in French. Super using that in Virginia. So around 2016, or about a couple years before 2017, which would have been her 70th birthday if you didn't do the math, my sister and I were like, we should take her to France. That would be really cool. And we have enough time to, save up for it. We can pay for it. That would be great. So about that, we plan on it. We're really excited. And we just keep the secret for years, which is just something I'm bad at. And that fall, before what would have been her birthday, we were like, Mom, for your 70th birthday, we're gonna take you to France. And she's like, I'd rather go to Italy. So we went to Italy. And 3 weeks before we leave, my dad, her husband of 43 years, asked for a divorce. I know. So she's down in the dumps, right? Obviously, and this vacation now has a new significance, right? So my sister and I are really determined to make this amazing for her. And it's going great. We go to Rome and she's loving it. She's the food, the history, and she's loving it so much. And she's talking to everybody and making friends, and she's super friendly and outgoing. And we go to Pompeii, and we're also traveling along the Amalfi Coast. So one of these days we are going to Positano, Italy, which is on the Amalfi Coast. And I don't know if you've ever been to Positano, but basically it is a town that is on the side of a cliff all the way down to the beach. So it's just cliff. And we drive there because we rented a car because all of us can drive stick. And we park about halfway down the cliff. And Positano is curvy roads and really steep stairs, real chutes and ladders of a town. And look at a map. So we park about halfway down, which is still a lot of cliff. And my mom at this point in her life is not in the best shape. She's not gonna wake you up on Thanksgiving morning to do a turkey trot. So we kind of meander down, we look around, we go down to the beach, we get gelato. And we're like, okay, let's kind of slowly make our way back up. And we're going back up, made it a little bit, and she sees a church she wants to look. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to look at it. And my sister and I are like, boring, we're gonna go shop. So we decide we're like, okay, let's meet back at the car. So my sister and I, we meander our way back up the terrible pain of a gradual incline all the way back. We went a little past the car, we went to a bunch of shops. It was a great time. And we figure it's been long enough that Betsy's probably made her way. to the car. So we go down to the car and we wait. And the time is ticking, and it's about 25 minutes, and we start to get kind of worried. And I know what you're thinking. Emily, don't you have cell phones? Yes. However, because my mother is so friendly and outgoing, when we were in Rome, my sister and I were absolutely sure she was going to get pickpocketed. So we confiscated all of her valuables. And so we have her phone and her wallet, and on her person, she is allowed to have a watch and a singular 20 euro note for emergencies. And she loved that system, so she was like, oh yeah, let's just keep doing it. And we're like, sure, yeah, we don't want you to get your passport taken. And so I have her phone and wallet, and there is nary a Betsy to be seen. And we are on the high ground, so we can't see her anywhere. And so we're like, we gotta find her. And so we start going back down, and then we're like, oh, maybe she's back at the car, like, let's go back up the stairs. Oh, we should go back down really slowly and look in every shop and every nook and cranny. She's petite, she could be anywhere. And we finally get down to the beach, and who do I see? At a table with a wine glass in her hand with 3 handsome young men. To say we were displeased is a little bit of an understatement. We go over, and my sister and I are just sweaty and gross, and we're mad. And like, my sister went to 2 Olympic trials as a diver, and that bitch was tired. So you can only imagine how I felt. And my mom is like, oh, girls, these boys bought me a drink, and they're so nice. And we're like, yeah, and they're like, oh, your mother's lovely. And we're like, so it turns out that upon exiting the church, Betsy reflected and realized she was not going to make it back up that cliff. So in her mind, logistically, she was like, I'm going to go to the beach and sit somewhere they can see me, and they'll probably find me soon. And we did. And we're like, can you finish your glass of wine and we can leave, please? And she's like, okay, all right, goodbye, boys, thank you, adios. Yeah, right, so like, they're Spanish, and she's like, adios. So we're walking back to the road from the beach, and she's like, well, girls, I still can't make it up to the car. So can you go back to the car and come get me? We're like, sure. How about you take your phone so you can play Candy Crush? It's gonna be a while. So we pick her up, and like, the wine must have hit her hard, because she is completely oblivious to our face-melting anger. It is quiet. And, you know, we were so mad, but it was really hard to stay mad, because, you know, my mother, who had just had one of the worst months of her life, who's facing this uncertain future and mourning the future she thought she was going to have, she leans forward and she goes, you know, girls, I think this was one of the best days of my life. Aww. Thank you.
All right, how Mama got her groove back. I had higher hopes. I had higher hopes for those Spanish boys. Also, quote unquote, a real Chutes and Ladders of a town. That was a good fucking line.